At this point in the story, we have identified that many schools in the Denver area place students at risk to exposure to pollution, which has been identified as a primary trigger of asthma. This only tells one side of the story. From our data, we can see that children with asthma face a harder journey through school due to missed days and hospital visits. According to National Jewish Health, there are other consequences that having asthma can hold for a student. They identify that children with asthma will face a more difficult time being involved in group activities like sports and can even experience bullying due to this condition. At the end of the day, National Jewish Health found that poor asthma control interferes with the ability to sleep, play, and learn. This once again shows the effects that asthma can have on the individual. But what effects can asthma have on a school overall? This map once again shows the location of Denver area schools and is drawn in the pollution buffer. But this time, the schools are color-coded based on the grade that they received from Colorado School Report. This grade evaluated many items across the board, but overall provides an idea on how well schools are doing at meeting their students' needs. Not all schools receive grades due to either lack of information or other factors have been identified, and only schools with grades have been mapped. Schools shown with a green dot received an A rating, blue a B, yellow a C, purple a D, and red an F. From this map, we can see there is no overall connection to be made between the performance of the individual school and its relationship to the highway. There are some very highly performing schools that do in fact fall within the pollution buffer. What we can say is that by looking at one area of the map, there is an interesting trend. Looking at the schools located along I-70, we can see a consistent color, yellow. From this, we can see that the schools located along I-70 receive C grades, a grade I know my parents would not have been thrilled if I had brought home my report card. Once again, while not saying that the highway and/or asthma can be the only identified factor in regards to school performance, there is something to be said about a consistent pattern along a major highway. Even if we don't say that the highway is a major factor in evaluating the school performance, how can we explain that pattern? What are the other factors that would lead this area of the city to be home to a multitude of underperforming schools? Once again, while not saying that the highway and/or asthma can be the only factor identified in regards to school performance, there is something to be said about a consistent pattern along a major highway. Even if we don't say that the highway is a major factor in evaluating school performance, how else can we explain that pattern? What are the other factors that would lead to this area of the city being home to multiple underperforming schools? From this map, it would seem that a universal factor that faces all these schools is air pollution. When this story has already identified that asthma can affect student enrichment and that air pollution is a trigger of asthma, what is not to say that the air quality is having a direct impact on the overall school's enrichment and performance? This means that not only is highway pollution affecting a community's physical health, but also the health of the residents within a community who have the potential to create the needed change within those communities. Pollution is blocking students from the ability to take part in their education, to grow, to learn, to become vibrant members of their own community.